Welcome to Create and Orchestrate. Today, we're going to talk about doing work in exchange for equity. I'm Marcus Whitney, and this is Create and Orchestrate. All right, I have no prevailing wisdom on this topic. However, it is a really important topic, especially for the uninitiated, for those who have not, in the past, done work for equity. So here's the thing. Doing work for equity is a long-term commitment, all right? And most people think about it like, oh man, I met this person, they got this company, I love what they're doing, and they don't really have the money to pay me right now, but they're talking about potentially breaking me off a piece of the company, and man, I could have a piece of this company, and so they start to kind of run all these scenarios in their head about the value of what this would all be. Look, don't ever think about doing work in exchange for equity in those terms. If you're working for equity, you are working for the experience of working with the people that you're working with in the hopes that collectively you all will do something great, but ultimately you're betting on the person, not the business idea, okay? This is where most people don't quite get it right. In 99% of the situations, you shouldn't do it. You should not be doing work for equity. You should be doing work for cash or not doing work at all. In the very few cases where you should do work for equity, the reason why you do work for equity is because you believe in the person that you would be partnering with and that you would be accepting equity from, and you're basically signing up for 4 to 10 years of work before you see anything, right? If you're not doing one of those two things, don't work for equity, right? Because that's what it is. Most businesses take 5 to 10 years to become anything, right? In fact, if a business becomes anything in 5 years, it is an outlier. Most businesses do not become significantly successful in 5 years. Most businesses, it takes 10 years to be great, right? So very few people that I talk to when they talk about working for equity are thinking about that, right? They're thinking about maybe the term of the amount of time they'll be in. Here's the thing most people don't understand about equity. If you have minority equity in a company and the owner decides at some point that your value is no longer kind of worth the equity you have in the company, it's pretty easy for them to dilute you, right? So whatever you've earned can be crammed down to almost nothing, and there's usually not much you can do about it if you are not the majority owner of the company. So you need to kind of factor in all of the risk, all the opportunity risk that you are taking on from a time perspective, from a time invested perspective when you decide to work for equity. I'm not saying it's not a good thing. I do several things where I'm working for equity, advisory roles, board roles, things of that nature. I enjoy them, but I mostly do them because I believe in the person. I know it's a commitment to work with them for a significant amount of time, and I've either come to terms with the fact that I may never see a dollar from it, or I really do believe that at some point there's going to be some type of liquidation, or liquidity event, or some type of time when I'm going to get some type of payout from it. But more often than not, it hasn't worked out that way. I got a lot of stock certificates sitting in a drawer somewhere that aren't worth anything, and you just need to proceed with caution about this stuff. So focus on the people and think about it as a 10-year commitment. And if you're not willing to be in bed with that person for 10 years, just don't do it. Do it for cash or don't do it at all. One love.